Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Technical Sergeant Justin Aguilar.
And I'm Tech Sergeant John Wyatt.
And we are a Master Resiliency training instructors. Today, we're going to be talking about resiliency. So what is the intent behind it?
So the intent behind these little small videos is to just put out there another type of skill set that we can utilize during this time of quarantine, COVID-19, or just realistically any time that we are feeling down and need pick-me-ups or another skill set to fall back on when we are having issues within relationships and trying to build and maintain those current relationships that we have.
Okay. So the skill set that we're going to be teaching you all is going to be called...
Wait for it.
Celebrating good news.
Celebrating good news, yeah.
All right. The thing about celebrating good news and what's the benefit of it is learning how to build relationships. It's also to help strengthen the relationship and maintaining that relationship. The one thing that we want to talk about is the things that we do in response to when it comes to good news.
So, believe it or not, a lot of times most people kind of have a default setting, as it were, when it comes to hearing or receiving news from someone else. And we'll call these unsupportive responses. So the three that we're going to talk about and then demonstrate briefly for you. The first one is being squash. The second one being the shutdown, and the third being a steal. So Justin, please.
Okay, for example, for squashing, if you want to do an example, saying good news.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, guess what? I just got a new assignment. Turns out I'm going to be going to Turkey pretty soon.
Oh, you're going to be going deploying?
No, it's not really deployment. It's an actual PCS. It's a short tour.
But what about your family? Like, how they're going to feel about it?
Well, my wife and I, we've talked about it a lot. And, even though my daughter, she's luckily young enough where we feel like this is a good time to get that short tour out of the way.
But you won't really get to spend time with your kid or anything anymore. Like, you're just going to be over there enjoying your time. What about your wife, man? That's kind of mean.
Yeah, and those are good points. Those are good points. Yeah.
And that is an example of what squashing is. It's like you're literally shutting down. It's like sometimes when they get a promotion or something, it's like a great thing for them, and they come up to you and you just shut them down like that. It's like, have you ever had that happen to you before?
Oh, absolutely.
So how does that make you feel?
Well, how does it make anyone else feel, right? When someone is literally squashing you down, you're going to start to feel insignificant. You're going to feel some kind of internal effect where you're sitting there going, I guess this person really doesn't care about anything I have to say anymore. So why would I want to maintain that relationship with this person if they're consistently squashing me down?
Exactly. All right, let's go for the next example. Shutting down. This is something that we kind of normally do. Sometimes we don't even know that we're doing this.
Absolutely.
I know I'm guilty of this one. It's shutting down. So the first thing, so if you want to go example of what the same thing you were...
Absolutely. So, hey man, guess what? I got orders to Turkey.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I know it's a short tour and all that good stuff, but my wife and I, we've talked about it, and kind of really excited.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That right there, that is a complete shutdown, where the person that you're trying to discuss anything with is completely disinterested, disassociated with what you're trying to talk to them about.
It's just low energy. Sometimes you don't even mean to do that. You don't know why you're doing that. Sometimes you just do that, and it definitely can make someone feel like that they're not wanted, or they just don't feel like they're being unsupported.
Absolutely, and that's why we're calling these unsupportive default settings, because these are all things that we consistently will fall into without even thinking about it. Now, the last one that we're going to talk about is the steal.
Okay, so
you're excited about this? Yeah, let's go for it. So we'll just jump right into it. So, hey man, got my orders to Turkey. How cool was that?
I was like, oh, that's cool, man. But hey, guess what? I was like, dude, I just got a new PS4. Oh man, it's so amazing. I can definitely get to play new video games.
Actually, that's cool thing about going on short tours.
I was like, well, hold on. I also want. It's like, oh man. Also, my kid is she's now be able to play with the controls and everything like that. Even though she's 1 year old, for some reason she's starting to figure it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then also my wife, she's learning how to cook new things and everything like that. It's amazing. Her food. The ricotta bread. Oh, it's so good. And everything.
All right, we'll stop there. So that's a steal. A steal, as just demonstrated, is simply stealing the limelight, stealing the conversation from the person that initiated the conversation. And as you just saw, it doesn't always have to do with the exact same situation that you were trying to discuss with that person.
You ever heard of one-uppers? That's exactly the example.
Exactly what a stealer is. They're a one-upper. We all do it from time to time. We're all guilty of it. And it's okay to admit that we have this default setting that we can get into. But how do we change this default setting? That's the purpose behind celebrating good news.
Okay. All right. Well, so first we're just going to do an example of what celebrating good news is supposed to look like.
Hey man, I got my orders to Turkey.
You're going to Turkey? Why are you going there for?
So I volunteered for a short tour. Didn't actually think I'd get it, but turns out I got it.
What? Like, what did they have to do?
So I'm going to do what I'm doing now, ALS instructor, Airman Leadership School. I'm really excited about it. I've never done a short tour, but my daughter is young enough and my wife is really supportive that if I was to leave during this time, it would be the best time to kind of get that out of the way.
Okay, like you said you're trying to commission, right?
I am trying to commission. Yeah, so there are some benefits to that too. It actually helps reset some timelines for me that opens up other commissioning opportunity windows.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really perfect, honestly. Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man.
See, that is one of the examples of what celebrating good news. There's our different like a skill set that also helps you, and especially when it comes to celebrating good news. But the things that you want to do is first thing is ask the questions. Why do you want to ask questions?
Well, you want to ask questions because you want to show your interest, genuine interest into what the person is talking about, and how else to show interest other than asking open-ended or generalized questions about the subject that person is trying to discuss with you.
It's like it kind of like engages them a little bit more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only does it show you're showing support, which is the second value of helping to celebrate good news, but by asking questions and showing that support, you are fully engaged in the conversation with that person. And so you can tell, especially with body language, as Justin displayed, he had turned himself, his shoulders were almost square to me at a point, saying, hey, I'm listening to you. And then he was so excited, he actually leaned back with excitement and then got interested again and leaned back in and said, hey, please tell me more about this subject. And that is how we show support. And the last value of celebrating good news is being authentic. Now, Justin and I have been good friends for a long time now, so I know he's being authentic when I tell him, hey, I got orders, and he's really excited for me. But being authentic also means being in that presence of mind to say, I am so excited for you, I can't express how excited I am for you. And that's literally bringing your authenticity, your personality back into the conversation to engage that person and say, hey, I'm here with you, I want to celebrate good news with you.
No, it's true. Also, as far as being authentic and also being engaged and interested and also showing enthusiastic. I think if you notice that I was enthusiastic of showing questions, it's just that you're in that moment with them. And so you're reflecting. We talked before, we reflected of each other's energy back and forth. And so instead of just being a ball of fire and everything, all of a sudden you're starting to become a giant sun. Everything, you're starting to bend that energy, you're starting to expand. It's like it makes that person feel good, and then you're part of that moment. Instead of being out there, you're part of that moment. You feel that moment.
Absolutely. You mentioned the energy aspect. So in those default settings of squash, steal, and shut down, what you're really doing is you're deflecting. So if someone's bringing good energy to you, you're bringing a negative energy and trying to deflect. And what happens when opposites collide? Right? They're going to repel like magnets. However, when you bring a good energy in and you want to reflect that energy, like Justin was just saying, you're going to ignite into a sun, essentially. And that fire of energy is just going to expand, and everyone's going to be so happy and be able to celebrate together.
Do you think that this stuff really does help maintain a relationship? Have you used this before?
I have absolutely used it. And I know we were talking off camera before about how we both utilize this in our current relationship with our spouses. And it's really helped to build, strengthen, and maintain our relationship, which, go figure, is the intent of celebrating good news.
Yes. Yeah, it actually really helps with my family and everything. My wife, she loves it. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. And, well, not to cut it too short, but I think this is a good place for us to leave off here. So thank you for watching, and please continue to watch more and subscribe to more of our videos so that you can see other resiliency skills that we have to offer. Thank you.